Okay, so at this point you should be pretty close to an expert in Fiverr, but just before you go out there and apply it, let's go through the do's and do nots. I'll also include what I'd do if I got to do it all over again. So in terms of the do's, it's the principles we've been talking about, the views to clicks to orders. So number one, optimize your gigs for search engine. This is number one. If you don't have the views coming in, you can't optimize for clicks and orders. You need those views coming in. Use your keywords. You know, pick your niche and really go in on that. Don't keyword stuff, keyword place, and do everything that we've discussed on that front. In terms of the clicks, everything has to be clickable and engaging, whether it's the title, whether it's the photo, whether it's the video, and one that's not mentioned on there is the prices. It has to be accessible for clicks. And anything that you can see before you click on a video could be causing your clicks to come down. Make sure it's all good, and you won't have that problem. In terms of the orders, competitive packages. Once I come onto your gig page, I want to see competitively priced packages that make sense. Has to make sense. I don't want a disconnect between why I clicked and then to click to buy, or I'm just never going to purchase, you know. Um, the other thing is fill out that gig page, add in your frequently asked questions, add in, you know, all your gig photos, your testimonial, fill out the Fiverr learn. Try and do as much of that as you can, just to bring more trust out of your buyer. And once again, reduce the reasons they're not going to contact. Um, Beyond that, communication. It's the number one reason I've won on Fiverr. Communication, excellent, rapid, flexible, helpful, however you want to describe it. Just be fantastic at communicating. Period. Keep it professional, you know. It doesn't have to be hi sir, but it also shouldn't be hi mate. Some people do that. I prefer not to. Occasionally, if the buyer is, you know, on a certain frequency, I'll say man, or very rare. Typically, use their name, address them, keep it conversational, business friendly, right? And the last thing is flexibility and offer a great end product. When you're beginning, if someone wants something that's not in your, you know, your listing and they want you to do an extra 15 seconds of animation, maybe you do it for the review, right? So you've got to have boundaries. But when you're beginning, I mean, people will say, oh, I don't know, my time's worth more than $5 an hour or $1 an hour. Who's willing to pay that though? Is it? I worked for a few dollars an hour for a while. You build it up. This is a patient game. So be super flexible, be over accommodating, bend, you know, as far back as the client needs, and then all the way back again, and offer a great end product. If the product sucks, then everything else before then does not matter. It all goes to pot. And in the next section, I'll teach you how to make a great product. Cool. So these are the avoids, almost as important. This is one that I work on every day, and the switch to get in here was huge, but it's only business. Don't take it personally if a buyer cancels, if Fiverr gives you a warning, if they close down your gig, you learn from it. Like you can't sit there and cry and take it out on people. You just got to, it's only business. It is, you know, you're in there for a paycheck. Even though we say give them a good experience, do this, do that, you're in there to do a job. It has to be emotionless. This is not friendship gathering. This is business. So that will help you provide a better service. Just be professional about it. You're going to deal with muppets. You're going to deal with people that you don't want to deal with. It's part of the game, and you just got to take it on the chin, um, and move on and try and find better clients or learn from it. Don't break terms and conditions. Fiverr's super strict. They will catch you out. Don't swap details. You know, don't call a client if they ask you to. Keep everything on Fiverr. Communication, payment. You know, I've had it many times. Can you call me? Can you fax me? I'll say no. They'll say, well, go elsewhere, and I say best of luck. Like, it's not worth it. Fiverr's super strict. So do not break those T's and C's. Ensure that you know you read them and you're pretty thorough with them. Don't overpromise. So over deliver. I even say when someone puts in an order, the first message they get from me is, "I can't wait to over deliver for you," because I will do. Um, don't overpromise. Don't Don't commit to a time frame you can't do. Don't commit to work you can't do. Don't commit to a price you can't do. I've had it before where there's a really complex piece. I plan to outsource it. Turns out it's a lot more expensive than I thought, and ended up spending about a day trying to outsource something for $40, and I couldn't even do it, and they cancelled. Don't overpromise; it will shoot you in the foot. But at the same time, if you think you can do something, it'll be challenging. Don't let that stop you. So don't use that as an excuse. Like, if they've got a project which would be challenging, but try not to overpromise. Make sure that you can deliver. Don't sacrifice too much sleep. Like, there'll be nights where, like tonight, orders are kind of crazy this week. They're really coming in heavy today. I may have to get 6 or 5 hours sleep instead of 8. I kind of like getting 8, but I won't go down to 3 or 4 because I won't be able to function. So don't sacrifice too much sleep. You won't be able to perform 3 or 4 days later. Just be smart about it. But sometimes you have to crank an all-nighter, or go into the darkness, as it were, and that's part of the game. And not setting client boundaries is an issue. If a client's constantly coming back, there's the balance between flexibility and boundaries. The way that I like to see it is flexibility is maybe if there's a misunderstanding, if I'm going to do something to help you out. Boundaries is if you're trying to take the mick, like if you knew something. So for example, let's say that you order from me and you order a 30-second video, and in reality your voiceover is 36 seconds. Even though, my price per second makes that a reasonable difference, I'll probably just do it for 30 seconds. If it's a 60-second video, I need double the money. So learn to draw that line. Now, if I did Fiverr all over again, there'd be a few things that I'd do differently. Number one is I'd start cross-selling way earlier. And what that is using your add-ons. So those add-ons, I never really used them until recently, and it's doubled my business. Alongside upping my prices, it's been huge for me. So at the beginning, yeah, sure, provide all the value, give them everything for free. But those add-ons, really use them, man. It's huge. Adding uniqueness and personality. I've been over it so much because it's so key. You're in a marketplace. If you think about it, when there used to be markets in London, or this, I mean, post COVID, hopefully there will be. But you go for the characters, you go for the personality of the bloke selling the apples. You don't go for the apples. It's the people that sell it. So my uniqueness used to be that I was unbelievably flexible. I'd respond within 2 minutes. I'd be there, bomb, bomb, bomb. Funnily enough, not a lot of people do that. Um, I still do that, but on top of that, you're going to get a the same standard of animation and end product that multi-billion pound firms get. So it changes over time. As you begin, I always think that flexibility, over delivering, and low prices is a great USP. Basically saying, look, I'm gonna bleed for you. Like I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make you happy with your product, and that's a great selling point. And combining that with your personality, whether that be hobbies you do or just you know your gig photos, just sprinkling a bit of professional personality, it goes a long way. And then I wish I would have kept my prices lower, not blower, lower for longer. I think that would have helped me build up more reviews. I'm at a place now where I can't really charge lower. Just I'm not able to. It doesn't make sense. And time wise, money that I've got to bring in to cover my costs. But what I'd say is, look, if you can charge lower prices for longer to really build up your reviews, it wouldn't hurt. Like I'm not too annoyed if you up your prices the minute you can. I think that's always smart, but I like the quantity approach of that. So that's Fiverr. That's us wrapped up on Fiverr. That is the extensive guide that's going to put me out of business on how you can outcompete me on Fiverr.com. So now let's talk fulfilling the orders in part two of this course.